Hello, this is Darren DePaul, the voice of Emperor Valkorion, and you're watching another video by Vulkk.
Greetings, my dear viewer. If you have signed up to receive email notifications about the latest posts on Vulkk.com, you probably are aware that this was a very busy week for me online. I've been pushing out guides and tutorials mostly about Battlefront 2 and Shadow of War really extensively, and Friday and Saturday was an extremely busy half weekend, I should call it. Let's begin straight away because we've got plenty of topics about all four major games that you can find on Vulkk.com and on my YouTube channel: Star Wars: The Old Republic, Gwent, Shadow of War, and Battlefront 2. The update to Star Wars: The Old Republic, Patch 5.5, is currently still scheduled to be released on 10th of October, exactly the same date as the release for Shadow of War, and that's going to be a problem for me, but this is not what the video is about. This week we received 4 more announced changes coming to different disciplines in Star Wars: The Old Republic, and they're all nerfs. We've got Deception Assassin and Infiltration Shadow Mirror nerfs incoming. And we also received a Lightning Sorcerer and Telekinetic Sage DPS nerf. Now that's a little bit strange because everybody was hoping, maybe not expecting, but hoping and asking for this discipline to be buffed. And instead, what results after the changes is actually a nerf because of the bug fix, excuse me. The other 2 abilities that you can see on the screen have actually been boosted, but because of the bug fix, it all results in a DPS loss. And overall, the change is not what everybody was hoping for. I don't know why, it's BioWare's reasons. And after that, we have 2 more changes announced to healers. For the very first time in the last 3 major patches, BioWare is actually changing actively healer disciplines. Medicine Operative, Sawbones Scoundrel, as well as Bodyguard Mercenary and Combat Medic Commando are also receiving nerfs. Well, maybe you don't know. If you follow my content for long enough, you should know that I have one of these collective posts for each one of the new and upcoming and existing patches to Star Wars: The Old Republic, where you can find absolutely everything official, all of the posts on Vulkk.com, as well as all of the videos related to the patch on my YouTube channel. I do have standalone article and the video overview about each one of these discipline changes, and there are several discussions going currently. Pretty much everybody, me included, is complaining about some of the changes, especially my complaint goes towards the Medicine Operative and Sawbones Scoundrel. I understand the reason, as I've said in the video and in the comments below it, but I'm still sad looking at it. It was a really big week for another one of my favorite games. Gwent, the standalone version of the Witcher cards game, received a patch update this week, and this patch brought a brand new in-game event called the Mahakam Ale Festival. First, on 27th of September, CD Projekt Red did a preview on a live stream, which was about 40-something minutes long, and down below in my video description you can find both link to the article, which contains a link to the full video archive if you want to watch the whole preview. Then, 2 days later, we received update 0.9.11, the patch notes and the updates itself. This here says extended because in the link below and in the article, you'll be able to see changes that are not listed in the patch notes, but have been spotted by people from the community and extracted as changed, namely the section with Agile cards actually being changed Agile. That's why the update is called Agile, because about 40 cards received Agile status. Instead of being forced to be played on just one row, they can be played on any rows in the game now. Moving on to the Mahakam Ale Festival, because I've created a guide for this in both standard mode and in expert mode with videos as well. I've done my best to show you different possible solutions and explain why and how I'm solving these solutions. I'm not scrolling down through this article because some of you probably don't want to get spoiled. If you struggle with solving these puzzles and beating your opponents in any of the 2 modes, check out the article, check out the videos, and let me know how it did for you. And then One day later, CD Projekt Red released second episode of their Around of Gwent online show. It brought brand new and very interesting details about the upcoming single-player campaign called Thronebreaker, and reveals details about how Thronebreaker is going to play out, the fact that it's actually a first from several campaigns, and because this one deals with a character from the Northern Realms, which is Queen Maeve, the next campaign and the next campaigns are going to deal with characters from different regions because CD Projekt Red wants to cover preferably all of them or as many of them as possible. We got to see and hear some more interesting new information about how resource collecting is going to work. We also got to see a brand new Oriana card art. We don't know much about Oriana as a card yet, but if you've played Witcher 3 and specifically the expansion Blood and Wine, you know that character, you know how special and unique she is, and I'm really excited to see her in game and what exactly she will be capable of doing. Let's move on to Shadow of War. First topic is the apology from WB Games and the fact that the announced DLC, the charity DLC for Shadow of War called Forthg Orc Slayer, is now actually free. Everybody who purchased that DLC will receive their money back. A quick look at the Shadow of War tribes and legendary gear was the main topic of the Friday livestream, because every Friday Monolith is doing live streams telling us new and interesting details about the upcoming game. In case you forgot from the beginning of my video or from many other places and times I've mentioned it, the release date for Shadow of War is 10th of October. There will be 7 tribes in Shadow of War, and each one of them will have unique features and unique perks to distinguish them apart from the rest of the tribes. Each legendary orc from each one of the tribes drops specifically different legendary kind of gear. Not just the outfit of the gear, if it's an armor, but the bonuses attached to it, and the special legendary unlockable bonuses will be very different and will give you different approach to how you want to build your Talion, which is really unique way and is going to help for the legendary gear to actually be able to stick with you, because it will be able to level up with you and it will be just exactly what your build needs. For more details, of course, check out this article, and I also have a video overview. Moving on to Star Wars Battlefront 2. I finished the first of several guides this week related to Battlefront 2, and this is the multiplayer modes overview. So far, this article has 3 pages, and you can probably count it as 3 different guides, because the first page is an overview and it tells you what classes and vehicles we're going to have in the game, what are star cards, what are battle points, and a list of the available gameplay modes. On the second page, however, and on the third one, you will be able to read and see what available official information and some lore attached to it we've got about the Galactic Assault multiplayer mode and the Starfighter Assault. Another guide that I've completed this week is the Star Wars Battlefront II Vehicles. There are plenty of vehicles, definitely more than in the first game, and they are unlockable with battle points as opposed to the previous game. Battle points are earned in-game and they are valid for the current round. My personal favorite is this little guy, AT-RT. It's actually a ground unit. And last but not least, a little bit of information about the open beta, which arrives on 4th or 6th of October, depending if you have pre-ordered. And this is a good moment for me to say a public and official thank you to Howzet or Luke, one of my patrons. I had pre-ordered the standard version of Battlefront 2, and he decided to help me out, so thank you very much, Luke. Right. Battlefront 2 Open Beta requires you to have quite a stable PC and about 15 gigabytes worth of drive space, hard drive space. Now remember, this is just for the beta. The final game will likely be 2, maybe 3, maybe 4 times bigger, I don't know. These are the requirements for the beta, and on the screen here you can see what specific event or events you will be able to participate. We don't know exactly if the full multiplayer will be unlocked for the beta and how and when, but we know that a lot will be available to test. Obviously, no single player campaign. Now, I've been bubbling in front of you guys for about 12 to 13 minutes now, and I highly doubt that I'll be able to squeeze my ramblings into less than 12 minutes. Thank you very much for sticking with me. Don't forget to do this that I showed you in the very beginning. Sign up to receive email notifications for everything I do on Vulkk.com, and that would help you catching the new informations early on, and that would help me receiving your attention. See you in the next video, guys. Bye bye. And of course, have a lovely week. Thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the video.